Hello everybody and welcome to the God Talk guys. My name is Michael Mack. The guy squeezing me is Michael Koran, my good friend.
It's a hug.
A hug from a hunk. Thank you. Each week at this time, we are here to talk about God, talk about faith, talk about spirituality, talk about the most important things of our lives. And that is exactly what we're going to be talking about this week. So this show, this 7 o'clock slot, is Michael's show, Aha, A Human Among Humans. And the following slot will be mine, the 7:30 show. But we're just going to run right from one into the next. And I think the topics will be different. But this first topic, we're going to talk about an adventure that Michael went on just over these last few days. Because Michael went to the New England dance camp, which happens every year in Freedom, New Hampshire. Is that right?
Yes.
And it's a gathering of people largely from New England, but really all around the East Coast and even the world. People come to this amazing place to do these amazing things. And so we're going to find out a little bit more about that. Would you like to give a brief introduction to our audience about what dance camp is? It's basically like a week and a half of, it's a summer vacation, I guess you could say.
Yes.
You're out in the woods, there's a lake, people are tenting, people are in cabins. Every night there's dancing.
Yes.
There are workshops all day long, men's groups, women's groups. It's a lot of fun, I hear. And I've been meaning to go for the last, 7 years. But when the time comes to actually sign up, I just haven't found the wherewithal to do it. But you went on Thursday, is that right?
No, I went on Friday.
You went on Friday.
Yes.
And what was the first official day? Do you know?
Wednesday night, I think.
So Wednesday night, and it runs, I think, for a week and a half, is
Yes,
that right?
yes,
Okay.
11 days. Yes.
11 days.
Yeah.
And so I imagine by the time you arrived on Friday evening, it was in full swing.
Yes.
How many people were there?
I think probably 300 to 400.
300 to 400 people. And do you have any sense of how many acres this covers?
If you've ever been to a camp as a boy, it's about the size. This is also, it's Robin Hood Camp.
Oh, so it's an actual camp
It's an actual
for
camp.
the entire year.
Yes, or at
Yeah.
least for the summer, yes.
Okay, for the summer. And Dance New England takes over for this
11
weekend,
days,
this
yes.
11 days. Okay. And so when you were telling me about it before we came on, you told me that you arrived in the rain.
After I arrived, it started
Okay.
drizzling. Yes.
Okay. And so you arrived around 5 o'clock, you said, on Friday evening. And what was it like? You were driving up the road.
Yes.
You're in rural New Hampshire, right?
Yes.
And this time, you've been with others in the past, but this time you went alone.
Yes.
And so you were driving up the road, and when did you know that you were getting close to dance camp?
Well, I mean, I get into dance camp. I drive in, and I've learned now to, because there's a love bubble, I was telling Michael.
Love bubble. Now, you will have to define this for our audience. Love bubble.
A love bubble, I wish it for all of us, is if enough people, this is my take
So
on
if
it,
2 or more are gathered in the name of...
well, or 300 or 400.
Okay. Gathered in the name of
And if
love.
we're walking along, if you and I meet, and we don't even know each other, and we just say hello with love in our heart, because that seems to be the what's expected.
So there's a generosity of spirit, a spirit of friendliness, of openness, and intimacy. Would you say that that's so?
People are intimate if they are moved to be. Yes, that,
I mean, intimate on many different levels.
yes, they share all kinds of things
Yeah.
we need help with. I was in a workshop where I was able to talk about my hoarse voice, and people were trying to heal me. It was very nice.
So you arrived, it was around 5
Yes.
on Friday,
Yes.
and When you arrived onto Camp Robin Hood, I mean, did you see this vast plain of people, or what did you see?
I
What did
saw
it look
the
like?
tent area.
Okay.
With almost no one around.
No one. But you saw a bunch of tents?
Yes.
Okay.
And there was one couple, and I asked them where it's possible to tent, and they suggested you can tent all the way down, a new place for me.
So it sounds like it was full of tents.
Yes.
Couldn't find a place to
Yes.
put your tent.
My
Okay.
usual place was taken,
Okay.
and I had to make this big decision where to put the tent. So I
Where
could
to put the tent,
sleep
right.
well, yes.
Right.
I have to put it up myself, which I'm used to my buddy being with me, Tony, who could help me.
Mm-hmm.
So this might be a challenge, and it was a challenge way beyond my ability. I ran into my friend.
Partly because it was starting to drizzle.
Yes.
Yeah.
I ran into my friend Q, and he said, "Let me help you."
And Q has been a guest on your show
Yeah, many times. Many
here.
times. And so he helped me very generously. Helped me. He was giving me wrong instructions very authoritatively.
With great enthusiasm and certainty.
He asked me putting it on backwards on the ground. He found the directions, and I said, "Could we please start over, and I'll read the directions." And and he was wise enough to say, when it starts to rain, let's pull the whole tent under that big tent that's set up. So we finished doing it.
So this is one of these self-contained dome tents
It
where...
was big.
Big
It's
dome
like,
tent.
At least, I don't know, but almost like a city block almost. Not quite that much, but like.
But self-standing, freestanding.
Yes.
So you can move it around.
Yes, with a platform, and
Yeah.
so we get it up, and thank goodness we had to restart again. I said, "Q, let's read the directions," and eventually we found the right side, and it worked. It was quite something. We
Okay.
had to really-
And was it dark by then?
No, but there's a danger which I have experienced at other places. In New Hampshire, in the dark, bugs come.
Oh, yeah.
Except not when it's raining. But
Okay.
Yes, but I have done this tent with Anthony's help, with bugs biting. But you want to do it because you know it's not going to be any better later. They're in your eyes and they're getting in the tent. But there's a lot of pressure.
So thank goodness for the rain this time.
And for Q,
Yeah.
I don't think I could have figured it out alone. After a 3-hour drive.
Okay, so finally, you get the tent up, what is it, like 7?
It's 6:30.
6:30?
Yes.
Sounds like supper time.
Yes.
Did you go for supper?
Yes.
And did you finally see, is that where all the people were?
Yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately, all of them inside, which is a little crowded because
Okay.
it's raining.
So what is this, like a giant cafeteria hall?
Yeah, it's
or-
like a dining room hall for a big camp.
Okay. 300 or 400 people.
Yep. And usually there's people sitting outside on the benches,
Yeah.
but it's raining.
Yeah,
And the food is amazing
yeah.
and dangerous
Dangerously good.
because this is all you could eat, really.
All you can eat, and it's delicious.
Yes. But I have not eaten all day. Right, I have not eaten all day, and so I did okay eating, but it was.
So what did you eat? What did you have?
They had a very nice chickpea with cauliflower and potato.
Sounds like Indian.
Yes,
Sounds
with
kind of
some curry.
spicy. Curry, yeah.
Yes, and some beautiful broccoli. I don't think I did the broccoli. Oh, no, I didn't. And pasta with homemade pesto.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very good.
Yeah.
And maybe some miso soup. I'm not sure.
Wow. Wow.
All homemade.
Now, as you're eating, you know that you're going to be dancing in a little while, right? Because every night there's dancing.
Yes.
Like until, what, 2 a.m. or something like that?
Even longer.
Or morning.
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes.
For the hardy.
Yes.
So you're eating, trying to not eat too much because you know that you're going to be working out shortly.
Or yes, if I eat too much, I'm in trouble. It's just
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
past. So, and I do well, though it's my only meal of the day. I like being hungry in places like this.
Oh, yeah.
Because my rules are when I'm in places like this, I can break my eating rules.
So you finish supper, and does everybody go out to the dance?
Many
now?
do, but I have to still load my tent.
Oh,
It's
okay,
still
okay.
a little light,
Okay.
and I'm wanting to find the men's group.
The men's group.
Yes, there's
Yeah.
a men's group. It's very nice because especially without my buddy Anthony or my friend Meadow Blue. Going to the men's group means that whenever I meet men who are in the group during the weekend,
Yeah.
you can say, "Hey, how you doing?"
Yeah, yeah.
But
Because if you're in a crowd of 300 or 400 people,
yes,
then
it really helps, and you hear people's problems. You're not allowed to refer to them.
right.
Not to say I heard in the men's group that
Mhm.
you were a God talk guy. I can't
Right.
say that. Even to you.
When other people are around.
No, even
Oh, really?
alone.
Okay.
Or even the next day in the group, I can't refer to anything you said yesterday.
Okay. Well, at what point can you tell me on the air what you heard?
Oh, well, I unfortunately did not,
Oh, you didn't go.
I couldn't find it. It was, I need help. I wasn't with my buddy Tony. It said on a big flyer, men's group, 8 o'clock above the registration building, but I did not see that and asked
Okay.
people. And I was probably too late, because the men's group will not let you in after 8:10.
Oh, once they get started.
One of the, yes. And it's very structured, 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You poured in my friend Q, I think I can say this, got everybody riled up by saying, "Why are you all so bothered about women?"
Hmm.
And since people were talking about women, and many people did not like that, but Q seemed to be happy making that trouble.
Some people
Uh,
Some people find happiness in that way. So does the men's group meet every night?
every night.
Every night,
Yes,
okay.
it might be different people,
Okay,
but always with similar structure.
okay, okay. That seems like a really good idea. You know, that you have every night this community of people
Yes.
that you can go to and reconnect with, especially if you go there alone.
Yes, it's very
Um,
nice. And there's family groups, there's other groups if you
Mhm.
don't want to do
Sure.
the men's groups. There's a polyamorous community that you can go to and talk about polyamory.
Yeah.
Or there's a HI, Human Awareness Institute,
Yeah.
which is a clothing optional institute.
Right.
You can meet there. There's other women's groups.
And do you have to be a woman to go to the women's groups?
I once asked that, what's the criteria, and people smiled.
Oh,
But there might be a transgender
Oh, really?
group. Yes, I don't know. I mean, the people are very open to all
Yeah.
kinds of.
all kinds of folks.
Yeah.
So, so you went back and you threw the stuff into your tent. And you got set up for the evening.
Yes.
Now it's dark.
And now it's dark, and I'm a little lonely and feeling sad, missing my
Yeah.
buddy. And
Missing the group.
And yeah, missing that I couldn't find the men's group until it was too late.
Yeah.
And so I see another friend now when we talk, and she tells me about some of the problems at camp and the committee she's on. And I do feel like crying. It's a new feeling for me, both feeling the love of the community, but feeling lonely. But lonely, feeling loved. You might know this feeling.
Well, so feeling love, you bring me back to your comment earlier about the love bubble.
Yes.
And I think that's what we're hoping to convey to the audience, because as you've been describing this love bubble to me, I haven't been to dance camp before. I've only talked about it and heard about it, but I've heard about this love bubble.
Yes.
And so I'm hoping that we can convey to our audience a little bit about what that means, a little more about what that means.
Well,
It's sort of like an energy. Is that?
It's
would
a
that-
very, very Christian or Catholic. It's I'm sure the early Christians had this big time. If enough people are hugging you, even though I'm feeling sad, and I can say that too. This is the community. I can say, yes, I'm feeling sad, but I'm so happy to be here. And touching, there's a lot of, hello.
Hmm.
There's a lot of that. So there's a lot of loving touch.
Mhm.
Greeting people, you don't even have to say anything. A lot of people I don't know too well, hello, heart to heart, real good hugs. So perhaps the love bubble and it takes a while to get into it. I have some friends who don't get into it.
Well, your reference a moment ago to the early Christian community seems right on to me,
Yes.
because that's my understanding of the way it was back in the day, in the very first days, first years of the church was that people greeted each other with great warmth and affection, and it's something that is reenacted at a certain point in the Catholic Mass and in most Christian churches, that at some point in the service, you will turn to the people around you and you will greet them and welcome them, give them the Christian kiss, as some people call it, a kiss on the cheek. And in some circles, like more charismatic circles, it can go to the next level.
And you can say more. In the evangelical on television will say, turn to your neighbor, hold their hand, and say, I can see God in your eyes. It's wonderful. So, things like that. They do that at this camp too. I see love in your eyes. Oh, let's open our hearts to one another. And you can say things like in some of the workshops, I am very confident.
It's intoxicating.
And then you tell me, you are very confident.
Yeah.
And I say thank you, and then we switch.
Years ago, I took a weekend, an insight seminar. There was a series of seminars, that personal growth seminars. And what they did during the weekend was a lot of different kinds of exercises where people encounter each other. They, in a more intimate way than we're used to in Central Square, Cambridge, as we go about our busy day-to-day lives. But I remember one particular exercise was one in which there were two circles, an inner circle and an outer circle, and people would, as this music was playing, this uplifting music was playing in the background, these circles would turn very slightly, sort of like a clock. You would turn, so you would move and look into the eyes of the person in front of you, and you would just gaze into each other's eyes for, 10 seconds or so, and then you would move again, and you would be facing somebody else. And eventually, over the course of this exercise, you get to look every single person in the eye for 10 seconds or so, something like that. And it's a deeply intimate thing, and it's intoxicating.
Yes.
To have that kind of intimacy, and it's good to have, I think, that kind of structure around it, because a lot of people don't know what to do with all of that intimacy all of a sudden.
And it's nice to be told what to do.
Yeah.
I want you all to be loving, and different groups do this. Dances of Universal Peace does this.
Oh, yeah.
It meets the first Friday and the third Saturday of every month.
And this is Sufi dancing.
Yes, you could call it that. They call it Dances of Universal Peace, but it's connected to a Sufi order. And they have live music. A guitar player, not much, but used to have a flute player, which was very nice. And we do that. We go around and feel the love in your heart. Put your hand on. Hai does this too. Put your hand on the other person's heart, and acknowledge the divinity or the love or the beauty that you feel in the other person, or that you feel in yourself.
Yeah.
So this is what happens at dance camp, less structuredly, except in the workshops you'll do this, but during the wandering around,
people are so in it, they just kind of carry it.
It can be challenging. One of the nice things about the Human Awareness Institute is they'll say, okay, now let's talk about what happens in between the exercises. How do you do at lunch? How do you do when you're going to the bathroom? So they're really into what they want.
So it's about taking this experience out into the world, basically. How do you move from the inner transformative experience of boundaries collapsing? How do you take that out into the world and navigate the world in a conscious and healthy way?
Yes, or even with one another during the year. What happens when it's? You see, at the dance camp, nothing is at stake. We don't have to do anything or accomplish anything. I can just love you because you're a human being, or at Dance of
It's summer camp.
Yes, but if we have to put up a tent together, and you're giving me instructions that are not helpful, and are very sure about your instructions, that's a little more challenging.
This may be going out to one particular audience member
who's at dance camp now,
who's not watching.
So But that's a very important example. We can feel this love for each other because we don't have to do anything, which is one of the things I was telling you, because we're running out of time. I'm going to switch to the last event at dance camp for me.
Okay, before you do, I would just like to insert one quick thought, which is that it seems to be crucial, what you were just talking about finding some way to structure this, this love bubble, to structure this sense of expansion. I mean, I notice myself that at times in prayer, deep in prayer, that I can feel this vast love inside me,
Yeah.
and it's a beautiful thing, but taking it out into the world requires, it needs to be focused, it needs to be structured. And so I find that transition from prayer out into the world, into trying to get things done, and you know, having a normal life, it can be challenging. So the structures that you're talking about, you know, it's like you know, being in a relationship with somebody where you fall in love. So at first the boundaries collapse, the walls fall down, and you're just in this intoxicating bubble with this other person, in love with this other person. But at some point, you got to get down to the business of, you know, making decisions together.
Yes.
And that's where it can become a little bit challenging, how to balance both.
Hugely challenging.
Yeah.
You know, how to get on after that initial infatuation.
Yeah.
So these are like, that's a very good analogy, because we don't know each other. I can dance with someone on the dance floor at dance camp, or here at there's dances on Wednesday night.
Harvard Square.
Yes, 11 Garden Street.
Yep.
That's Dance Freedom. Friday night at the Unitarian Church in Harvard Square.
On Church Street.
Yes. There's Sacred Circle Dancing Thursday, it was the first and third Thursday of the month at the Unitarian Church.
So if y'all want in on this,
Yeah.
it's local. You can
Yes.
find it.
And there's lots of it. You can just Google dances. I'm not sure what you'd Google actually, but you can certainly Google Dance Freedom
Mm-hmm.
and Contact Improv.
Mm-hmm.
And these kind of experiences can happen. You've been to Dance Freedom.
Hmm.
I can be dancing and love someone and not know them. That's the difference. The same as at dance camp. Dance camp, I get a chance to talk to them. But in a very, I was talking to one couple. He had been going out with someone else and broke up. That happens so often here too, because there's so much love going around. It's in some ways.
So are you saying that at dance camp, for example, that people can come in as a couple and leave
It's possible, yes.
in a different way?
Or just be a couple. There's so much love around and so many loose boundaries, because you're hugging people and saying, I love you, you're wonderful.
Now, I need to jump in here because we've got 4 minutes left,
Wow.
and there's something that you wanted to share.
Oh, from the goodbye, yes.
Goodbye, okay.
Well, there was this wonderful man who leads dances called Biodanza.
That's his name.
No, that's not his name.
His
His group. And
Oh, okay. Oh,
and
that's the group,
Biodanza
okay.
is like what we're talking about.
Okay.
An intensive 2-day workshop where you just dance and very skillful exercises that open you. You would like this perhaps even more than what I've been talking about. Open you to the universe, and they open you to even a simple dance. Okay, now with beautiful music playing. Okay, now slowly at your own pace, open your arms and greet the love from the universe that is supporting and permeating everything.
So this is an example from Biodanza?
Yes, and Earth and Dance New England takes all of these and uses them. All the teachers are exposed to this and incorporate that into their particular.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a very, in Biodanza, because this particular leader is very good at doing it when he's teaching us. He's not saying, okay, do this. He is doing it himself.
Mm.
And that helps a lot.
So he's demonstrating.
And really, really doing it, and his helper is often in tears when she's doing it with him, because you can be in tears feeling.
Mhm.
That's part of my tears for this weekend,
Mm-hmm.
is the beauty of it, the love of it makes it, I think, contributes to me crying also.
Hmm.
For whatever reason, we don't have time to go into why, but I'm saying goodbye to the leader of Biodanza. He's at a workshop near my car where I'm packing up my tent that you helped me put
And
up.
that's this morning, Sunday
That's
morning.
This morning. And I say goodbye to him because he's far away dancing at this workshop. And I see him and he remembers me and I'm touched.
So he's a distant speck in the horizon.
Yes, on the outdoors in the grass. And I open because I can't talk, I open my arms to him. And he dances his love back to me. And I realized I was just loving him from my torso up to my head.
Hmm.
And it was such a goodbye gift to know that my feet need, which is hard for me, I'm learning to dance, my feet need to be involved in this love too, which is a little challenging because then I might have to do things.
Hmm.
I can't just feel it. If my feet are involved and I'm dancing this love, then I will be moved to do things. I can't just feel the love. I have to do something with it.
And one of the things we have to do with that love right now is to say goodbye to it, because we've got 30 seconds to go.
Are we allowed to keep feeling it even if we're saying goodbye to our audience?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, even better.
Yes.
So here has been, for these last 27 minutes, an introduction to the love bubble. Maybe you carry some of that love bubble with you out into the world yourself this evening. And
Forever, maybe.
forever. And us both as well. Thank you,
Wow.
Michael Koran. God Talk Guys. See you next time.
Wow, great.